Senator from Oklahoma.
First of all, my very good friend from Virginia, and he is a good friend, I think he needs to reread this bill. Now, I'm older than he is and than most of the people around here, but I do remember the Reagan tax cuts. This is a Reagan tax cut. You know, I listened to the other side, and a lot of the liberals on the other side, because there's a difference between Democrats and Republicans, we understand that. But they come out and it's always class warfare. It's always they're doing this for the rich. The rich are going to get richer. Well, that's not the way this worked out. There's a group called the National Tax Foundation. The National Tax Foundation did an analysis of this, and then they did it state by state. In my state of Oklahoma, the average family of four in my state of Oklahoma will get an increase in their take-home pay of $2,000. Now and where did it come from? The standard deduction, for example. The senator talked about this is for the rich. This isn't for the rich. Your standard deduction actually goes from $6,000 to $12,000. And if you're married, it's from $12,000 to $24,000. Child tax credit. We're all concerned about child tax credits. Several Republicans wanted to do even more than that. Right now, as the law is, it's $1,000. But it's going to be increased after this is over, after we vote and we have tax increase, we have a tax reduction, a major tax reduction. That child tax credit will go from $1,000 to $2,000 per child. That's a huge thing. That's not for the wealthy. And you know, I listen sometimes and they talk about how this is going to increase the deficit. I got to tell you though, I remember very well. In fact, I remember so well, I was watching, and I've given it in speeches several times. Reagan reduced the taxes twice, one in 1981, one in 1986. In 1986 and 1981, the total amount of revenue that came into the federal government was $469 billion. He had a huge reduction in rates. Yes, the top rate, it went down from 70% to 50%. And then the others went down in accordance a similar percentage. Now, what happened to that was that while it was the total amount that came in before that tax, the tax cuts was $469 billion. Afterwards, it was $750 billion. The same thing happened. They did it again in 1986. 1986, the total revenue that came into the federal government was $569 billion. At the end of the period of 10 years that they're measuring, it was $1 trillion. Now, the problem is, and the other side is always saying, well, wait a minute, our deficits increased during that time frame. Yeah, they did. But I have to say this, it was not because of Ronald Reagan, it was because the Congress, the House and the Senate were run by liberal Democrats. And as fast as the increase in revenue came in, they were spending not just the increase, but even more. So that's one of the differences now, because I anticipate that we're going to have a conservative House and a Senate for the years to come, and we'll just have to wait and see what's right. I do agree with my friend, though, from Virginia in one respect, and that is he and I both had the hardest job in the world. You never know what a hard job is until you're mayor of a major city.